When I was 7, I wanted to be a teacher. And then it was an artist. And I think by about 14, it was a doctor. When it came time to apply to college, I declared my major as undecided. What would I be? Could you grow up to be someone who's undecided? I've done a lot of growing up since then, and I think that the college systems and the adult world, we kind of have it wrong. The question isn't what you will be. We need to be asking ourselves who it is we want to be. In 2012, the now iconic Be Someone Bridge first appeared as you enter downtown Houston. And while no one knows for certain, most believe that that Be Someone message speaks to the diversity and the opportunities that our great city offers. I love that the two simple words, be someone, are both a welcome and a challenge. A challenge to ask ourselves who it is we want to be. I'll tell you what, no one wakes up wanting to be someone who's homeless. It is not something that any child aspires to. It is the unfortunate and tragic result of when all else fails. It is the result of when all the emergency funds run out, when every couch has been crashed on. It is the place that no person and no parent ever wants to find themselves. But homelessness is not who someone is. Homelessness is not an identity, it's an experience. I want you to think about any other time in your life that you would use someone's housing status to define or describe who they are. My apartment-dwelling friend Amy, my mortgage-approved coworker Matt, my still lives with his mother cousin Carl. Maybe that one, right? But like, it sounds ridiculous, right? Because it is. It's ridiculous. My good friend Joy says, these are people, not filing folders. We don't need to use labels. Homelessness is an experience, not an identity. An experience that at Search we strive to make sure is rare, brief, and non-recurring. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Rare. We want to see less people falling into homelessness, and we want to see less people living on our streets. Brief. When homelessness does occur, we want it to be short. Shelter stays should not last long, and people should move into permanent housing options. And non-recurring. Once someone is housed, we want them to stay housed, and we want the cycles of homelessness and poverty to not repeat themselves with future generations. Rare, brief, non-recurring. I'm thrilled to say that Houston is leading the way and demonstrating to the nation how to effectively, compassionately, and pragmatically tackle the issue of homelessness. Search and the 100+ organizations that make up our continuum, we call the Way Home, have effectively reduced homelessness here in Houston by over 61% since 2011. That means that we've moved over 30,000 people into homes of their own. We've learned that the solution to homelessness is affordable housing combined with wraparound support and care that keeps people housed. And let me tell you, Houston is doing a wonderful job of implementing that solution into practice. But make no mistake, there is still plenty of work for us to do here. And that Be Someone Bridge, it can remind us that each and every someone matters, and that no someone in the city of Houston deserves to sleep on our streets. Somewhere in my college years, when I was trying to figure out the someone that I wanted to be, I hit some hard realities fast. My half-brother died by suicide, and I lost my father to cancer. I was determined to push through that semester of college, and when I crumbled in total grief and exhaustion and a deep depression. I could barely get out of bed. I didn't know what to do. And it was through the saving grace of friendship and a community around me that I found my way to the university's counseling center. I still remind myself how difficult it is to utter those words, "I need help," and how hard it is to accept it when it's offered. During one of those darkest days, an acquaintance that I barely knew shared an experience of when she lost her father the year before. And her message to me was, "Alexis, sometimes we go through what we go through so that we can help others go through what we went through." Those words have stuck with me. And they've called me to be someone who helps others go through what I went through. They've called me to be someone in the helping profession. Search case managers are truly a lifeline. They're incredibly skilled and compassionate someones who do what I call the hard work and the heart work. Our outreach teams go out into the field and they engage with individuals. They build rapport and trust, and then they help guide them home. And then once that does happen, the hard work, it doesn't end, because our housing case managers work to keep folks stably housed, increase their income, and improve their health and well-being. But most importantly, we help individuals improve their confidence in their ability to change and do each one of these things. We do the same thing at our House of Tiny Treasures, which is a preschool. We help kids build an early foundation so that they can become the best versions of themselves. We know that one of the biggest predictors of homelessness is a previous homeless experience. So that means just by the virtue of the fact that these kids have experienced homelessness with their families, they're more likely to experience it again as an adult. The House of Tiny Treasures is Search's commitment to breaking the cycle of homelessness and poverty so that no child grows up to enter our doors again as an adult. We help each of our children see that they can be anything that they want to be, or rather anyone that they want to be, because each precious child is someone. My first job at Search was 14 years ago, and it was as one of those case managers. I worked at a housing site called Northline SRO, and it was there that I met and worked with a client named Arthur. And he told me a lot about his proud New Orleans roots, and he also shared with me about the devastation that hurricanes had waged on his life and his family time and time and time again. And after years spent on the streets, alone and illiterate, he was incredibly happy to have a place to call home, even if it meant that he had absolutely nothing in it. Arthur had a terrible limp, and it was really clear just by his frail structure that he was not well. One day I saw him return from a medical appointment, and he had a bag with him, and he told me that everything in the bag, the medications, they were trash. He wasn't going to take them because he couldn't read the labels. With his trust, I sat down and we dug through that bag together. And I'll tell you what, my head began to spin, because I think there were 10 different kinds of medications in there. Scary warning labels and complicated instructions. His health was way worse than I could have imagined. So the next day, I took back one of those weekly pill boxes and we sorted through the meds together, and then we looked them up so that we could try and learn about his health. Before I knew it, I was talking to his doctor on the phone, and then I started going with him to his medical appointments so that I could help him comprehend the complicated terms being thrown around, and I could ask the questions that he was just too uncomfortable to ask. I think all along he really just needed somebody to care, somebody to be there by his side. A few months later, Arthur was finally well enough to have this long-avoided surgery. And he had me confirmed on his family list as his niece, even though it was very apparent to everybody that I was not his niece. But I sat in that waiting room at LBJ all day. And I waited until his surgery was over so I could see him in post-op. I always reminded Arthur that he was someone. He was someone who mattered. He was someone who mattered to many. And he was someone who mattered to me. Each of our clients is someone. And each of our clients is someone who matters. I find it really fitting that I pass that Be Someone bridge every single day on my way to work. It causes me to remind myself and ask myself who it is that I want to be, and remind myself that each and every person is a someone out there striving to be someone. The individuals that we serve, the people that we've housed, the people that still need our help, they are so much more than just numbers. They're someone's. Every day as I pass that underpass, I try and remind myself and ask myself to do 3 things. Be someone who offers a lifeline to those in need. Be someone who empowers others to change their life. And be someone who shows the world that homelessness is solvable. By being here today, you all are already someone who cares. But I urge you to be someone who does something about it. I urge you to be someone who is part of the solution. Friends, this room is full of someones, and this city is full of someones who day in and day out make a difference. Together, we can and we will solve homelessness. Together, we can be a Houston where no one grows up to be someone without a place to call home. Will you join me and make this vision a reality? Join me and support Search and a Houston without homelessness.